can be, because one of the most important factors in Islam is the preservation of knowledge and history, and preserve the life of the Prophet and every detail available to us, and every detail of the life of the Khulafa Rashidin al their reign is available to us. You see, what most Muslims fail is that they only look at the theological concept and then start issuing either for or against fatwas, which culminate into more problems. What it needs to be understood is that the timing available at that time, resources available at that time, and manpower available at that time, and of course the people's ability, people meaning the population, their ability to absorb and what was required at that time. If we take, for instance, Baitul Mal, now this was the state treasury which looked after the interest of orphans, interest of widows, interest of those people who were disabled to work. It provided wazifas for the state of people of the state of Medina, and of course provided salaries for the mujahideen or the armed forces. Today, if we look at it, there is not many Islamic countries where we have a Baitul Mal or a state. Now this cannot be fault of the state of Khulafa Rashidin, because a essence or the foundation of the thing is available to you to develop yourself. Now they have, it's just like they've given you a piece of land which is available. Now the architect have to design and form the building according to the condition to which it is needed now. A building in the desert requires a different construction to a building in the very cold, icy country or in the waterland. So what it means is that the building process and their details are available to you. In the other ways, the security of the country. Khulafa Rashidin, Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar Raziyallahu Ta'ala, within 11 months, united the whole of Arabia, which had gone into a disarray and disintegration to many parts after the departure of the Prophet. They thought this was the end of the Islam, but it was not. It was still the continuation of the Islam. So it shows that you have to secure your borders, and security and unity of the nation is of paramount importance. Now, how many of us are dedicated in that fashion? If Muslims fail their duties on that line, then it is their fault, not the fault of Islam. There are numerous things which we can mention. For instance, during the time of Hazrat Ali Raziyallahu Ta'ala, there were a number of factions which were then brought down in order to stabilize the thing, and deals were made even with those people who were considered a threat to the state in order to maintain some quietness and stability within the state. So this provides a means of delegation, communication, and business transactions, other things to improve the quality of life. Now, agricultural, for instance, program. If you look, the Prophet himself planted trees and helped to plant trees so that there are more trees in the ground and more dates on the ground. If we look at Africa, vast continents under Muslim but how many acres of that land is cultivated? Having bulk of the people living in this way. So I would say that we need to improve ourselves on the principles which were given, or principles which were enforced by the Khulafa Rashidin. This is merely an act of honor, or an honorary act of giving some credit to those honorable men who worked for the love of the Prophet, love of the God and love of the people. But it does not mean that by further development we are undermining their honor, or not developing at all, we are doing any service to those Khulafa Rashidin and the Islamic Ummah.
Now, one of the challenges that we face today is the question of Islam or Islamic leadership as compared to the concept of Western democracy. In many countries we have this problem now because we're trying to adapt to one system while maintaining another system, or trying to maintain two systems in some countries and so on. Now, are these two, Islamic principles or concepts and Western democracy, are they compatible?